It is a lot of work to put the Christmas lights out and kind of have the whole extravaganza, you know, running during the holiday season, and then of course take it all down. And there is some cost incurred in buying the stuff, even though I do it at the post-holiday sales at 50 to 75% off. But man, it sure is a lot of fun. It's just great, you know, all the wonderful emails I get from people. All the kids especially that smile and laugh and stuff like that. And so, you know, I think I'll be doing it for quite some time. In some years I've scaled back. I kind of had fun in 2003. I did a dramatically less lights and went with a burnt out theme. In 2010, I took a break for Halloween. Had a few issues in the family. My wife was diagnosed with cancer and had surgery. She's doing well. And my father passed away unexpectedly. But boy, as long as I can climb up on the roof of the house and put stuff up there, I hope to keep putting out Christmas lights every year and providing lots of fun and smiles for people around the world.
Ho, ho, ho! Merry Christmas! That's a lot of inflatables. You're all set, ready to deploy in the front lawn, so you on the internet can turn them on and off with a click of a mouse by surfing to www.comar.org. Let's turn them off for the night.
And yes, for Halloween I do the same basic crazy setup. The main difference being, of course, the theme is a bit more spookier than it is for Christmas. For instance, there are many skulls and witches and spiders, a number of Grim Reapers, including one on a motorcycle. There's a headless horseman out there by the garage. And then instead of Santa's workshop, I call it the Halloween Haunted Office. And my favorite thing there is Heads Up Harry. He's quite a sight to behold. The web traffic and people looking at the house in person over the course of the holiday isn't as busy as it is as Christmas, but Halloween night is of course a huge evening with hundreds of trick-or-treaters. And so just a ton of fun for me to see all the kids in costume come by. Of course, I've got treats for them, and then also for the adults that come by, I tend to have shots of port or Baileys. And so, a very popular house, but just a lot of fun for me. A great warm-up for Christmas. The number one most common question or request I get probably at least a dozen times a day is, will you wave to me on the webcam? And if I see it, I do, but sometimes I'm not here. People do ask me to marry them sometimes, but that doesn't happen quite as often. Let's see, another common question is, how long does it take to set up and take down? The setup is over the span of a couple weeks, kind of depends on the weather and what else I got going on. Take a couple hours each day and slowly kind of put things out. The takedown only takes a couple of days, just basically grab everything and take it down to the basement. If we have a lot of snow on the ground and it's frozen, there may be a couple things like stakes and extension cords that I'm not able to get out of the front yard until literally March or so. Let's see, another question is, what do I do when it snows or it rains or it's windy? Snow is really not a problem. We had like 4 feet of snow back in 2006. My wife got stuck in Vegas, but the Christmas lights did just fine. Rain is a bit of a problem because it can short out the GFI circuits. And so then you just have to wait for that to go away, especially if it's freezing rain. But the greatest enemy of Christmas lights is wind. Wind can just blow everything to Kansas. And I've had years when we've had 60 to 70 mile an hour Chinook winds coming off the foothills. And those really do play havoc with the display. Even though I've got everything staked down, I've got concrete pavers on the roof and stuff like that, that can really tear things up. When we have those big winds, I have to unplug the inflatables because the 12-foot Santa would just go all over the place. Let's see, another very common question is, how much electricity does it take to run this Christmas lights display? It must be just an incredible amount. Well, yes indeed, that electric meter does spin like crazy, but I have mostly mini lights. Clark Griswold had 25,000 C9 bulbs. Those are the big ones, but the mini lights consume a lot less electricity. If you scroll down on the webcam page, the amperage load is about 60 to 70 amps. That's about 4 or 5 hair dryers. If you do the math at 10 cents a kilowatt hour, it's on for 5 hours a day. But remember, we have the battle of the people who like Christmas lights and turn things on versus the environmentalists who turn it off to save electricity. But in reality, it's only a couple of dollars a day of electricity. And to me, that's a very small price to pay to bring joy and smiles to people around the world, and to also raise over $50,000 for celiac disease. Oh yeah, what about wind power and carbon neutral? Some people have seen that on the website. I do sign up for Excel's wind power program. It's about an extra cent a kilowatt. But basically, yes, the Christmas lights are wind powered. Always kind of cracks me up. A number of people during the holiday season will say, hey, where's the windmill on your property? I don't have a windmill on the property. Again, it's through Excel, and they have a wind source program. The carbon neutral is I do make a donation every year. It's really not much, but my gosh, Al Gore would be proud because I have carbon neutral Christmas lights. Very common request again is, can you turn the lights on early? Typically this comes from the people over in Europe because they're 8 hours ahead. So when they go on at 5 o'clock here, it's bedtime over there. I'd be happy to accommodate them, but it's daylight over here, so you can't see the lights too well when the sun's still out. The related request is, can you leave the lights on late? The lights go off at 10 o'clock Mountain Time. Typically people from the Pacific are asking, hey, you know, it's just the afternoon here, you know, we still like to play with them, why are you turning them off? Well, I do have good neighbors, and I figure 10 o'clock's a reasonable hour to turn the flashing Christmas lights off. However, on Christmas Eve and a few other special occasions, I do leave them on till midnight local time, or I have a couple of times left them on all night long. And of course then people really enjoy that, and I try to do advance notice, so again the people overseas know about that. Let's see, another related question tied into that is, don't the flashing lights annoy the neighbors? Well, it turns out that I live in a family neighborhood, and the neighbors think the Christmas light display is quite the hoot. Their kids love it. And so, again, it's not on all night long, and I guess the best response to that question I like to point out is that webcam 1, which looks at the front of the house, is actually at the neighbors across the street. So the fact that they let me put a webcam over in their house says they don't think the display is too shabby. The media is a mixed bag. I mean, let's be honest, going up in a helicopter and being on the 6 o'clock news, I mean, that's kind of fun. But they're very much hurry up and wait. You're very much on their time, and they can sometimes just show up unannounced or say, hey, we're coming tonight, and never show up. Also, the accuracy of the media sometimes leaves a little bit to be desired. But that just is kind of par for the course. On the other hand, you know, when you are in the newspaper, on the radio and TV, you know, more people come by the website. Probably, but enough people are already coming by. But probably the best thing about it, it does raise awareness for celiac disease. And it's good that people know about it. It's often undiagnosed or misdiagnosed even today. And also, it encourages more donations to the University of Maryland. So in that respect, when the media is sometimes jacking me around or whatever, I kind of try to say, hey, it's all going to be worth it in the long run. I have no desire to ever be on a reality TV show, by the way. First of all, I'm just, like I said, a boring middle-aged suburbanite dad, so I wouldn't be a good candidate for them. You know, when TV trucks and stuff are showing up at the house, it's kind of crazy. But the very next morning, my job is to take the trash out. And that's kind of the way it should be.
Clark Griswold, move over. A Lafayette family can now officially lay claim to the best Christmas light display in the entire country.
It's that time of year again, Kevin.
Oh, so festive.
Stringing popcorn, hanging tinsel, and Alek Komarnitsky's Christmas light webcam is up and running.
A display of Christmas lights in Lafayette is the talk of the town, well, talk of the world, actually. Hundreds of thousands of people are seeing this one through the internet. It is the home of the Komarnitsky family.
With the click of their mouse, anyone in the world can control the Komarnitsky's Christmas light.
All right, let's talk about the holidays. There's a home in Lafayette that's getting international attention from places as far away as Germany and Singapore.
All because of its Christmas light display. Take a look. Air Tracker 7 is over the Komarnitsky's family home. It features 17,000 lights turning off and on at various intervals. And Alex Komarnitsky is in Air Tracker 7 tonight.
Hey, Alek, you've done much more than just put up those lights, though. You've got a webcam and a controller, right?
That's right, Mike and Ann. For those people on the internet, you can go to my website and not only view the lights via webcam, but actually turn them on and off, which is exactly what we're seeing right now.
Great.
That's wild.
So what do your neighbors think about this project, Alek?
Well, their nickname for me, I think, is Clark Griswold. But I have some very, very understanding neighbors, and fortunately, Air Tracker's been polite to kind of stand off from the neighborhood so we won't bother them too much with the noise.
That's great. Now, you do this other holidays as well, is that correct?
That's true. I've done it for a couple years of Christmas, and then for Halloween last year, I had the Incredible Hulk out in force, where you could cast a vote on the lights for Bush, Kerry, or the Hulk.
What a hoot. All right, so
Take that off. That's Alek's house up in Lafayette. We turn the lights on and off on the World Wide Web.
My two boys have celiac disease, so it's something that's personal for me. I live with it every single day. So yes, I think raising the awareness level of celiac disease is a good thing, not just for other people who may be undiagnosed or misdiagnosed, but also just having the visibility of an affliction that strikes 1 out of 133 people raised, so that there's more government funding and awareness, and so hopefully we'll find a cure. The over $50,000 as of 2010 that's been raised for the University of Maryland from my controllable Christmas lights for celiac disease is pretty cool. And so yeah, I would say that's one of the main reasons, probably the number 2 reason why I do the lights every year. The number 1 reason I do the controllable Christmas lights for celiac disease, it's all the smiles and joy that it brings to so many people. From the people who stop by in person, especially the kids who light up when they see the display, the countless emails and instant messages and blog posts from people around the world saying how it made their evening, or it brightened their day, or how they like turning the lights on and off, or making Homer Simpson go up and down, or watching their kid do that. To people with celiac disease saying thank you for doing this. Just really makes me feel good. So, you know, at the risk of sounding like some dumb do-gooder, somehow with this crazy setup and contraption right here, I'm able to bring a lot of joys and smiles to people around the world. And that makes me feel good. Merry Christmas.